In this lesson, we will talk about tokens. An important aspect of Ton platform is that you can create your own custom assets. And this means really all sorts of things of value that you are going to transfer in your application. This means currencies, this means stable coins, any types of tickets, receipts, any financial contract, anything that makes sense to transfer. This is what we call tokens. And whenever you break down the value stored in your system into transferable chunks, it is a process that we call tokenization. So token is a technical term that means anything of value in your system. So let's take a look at what kind of tokens exist in Ton. First of all, the tokens could be fungible and non-fungible. What does it mean? Non-fungible tokens are those that are unique, those that have an owner, but they cannot be split or merged and freely interchanged. And the non-fungible tokens implement a lot of important features in the Ton ecosystem. First of all, it's all sorts of collectibles and many utility tokens. For instance, Ton DNS records are non-fungible tokens. Each domain name is a unique token that has its own owner and its own set of attributes and can be transferred between the users. And also those tokens could be arranged in collections. So the Ton DNS system has a collection of the top-level domain, .ton, and then every other token could also be a collection to the other subdomains, and thus you could create the hierarchy of the names in this domain system, where each element will be an independent non-fungible token. Similar to Ton DNS, there are Telegram usernames. They are also implemented as tokens, except there are no hierarchies. It's just a single collection of Telegram usernames, and then just a flat list of independent tokens for each username. Finally, you could use non-fungible tokens for specific financial agreements. So let's say you have a subscription system where users could subscribe to your content, and all the payments will be collected in a single token that has an owner or a manager. And this way, you could transfer your business, or you could rotate the keys and change the ownership of this token and use this token as sort of a tool to control the financial transactions that are designed in your financial agreement. And this is how you would use non-fungible tokens. The fungible tokens add one more dimension. The fungible tokens not only have owners, but they also have multiple units that could be interchangeably transferred between the users. And in Ton, the fungible tokens are used to implement currencies, cryptocurrencies, and pretty much any situation where you have shares or voting rights, where you have things of value that are interchangeable. And in Ton, those fungible tokens are implemented in a scalable manner. How does it work? Unlike some other blockchains, in Ton, you don't have the single contract that keeps a track of all the accounts that own portions of the token or the units of the token. Instead, there is a multitude of independent contracts with the same code that are called token balances or token wallets, and every user's wallet communicates directly with their own token wallet. And this token wallet's job is to pass the message that says, please increment some amount of tokens to the sibling, the same contract that has the same code, but has a different owner. And this architecture, we will talk about it later in this course in more detail, but this architecture allows to make tokens fully scalable in Ton platform. So what does the scalability of tokens mean? It means that while two users are making a transfer of one token between themselves, this transfer doesn't interfere with the transactions of some other two users who are doing the transfer of the same tokens on some other end of the network. And this is thanks to splitting out the storage of all the balances of these tokens in those individual contracts. This scalability is one of the most important features of Ton platform, because in Ton, all these custom assets that you create, they inherit the full unlimited scalability of the network without any shortcuts. You could also use tokens to represent various states of your funds. So let's say you have a system where there is a delay, or you have to put the money in some intermediate state. How do you represent the state of the money in this particular situation? Well, you would use fungible tokens of different sort for this matter. This means that you would use the fungible tokens not just for the face value, like a currency or a stable coin, but you would also use it as just a technical mean to represent intermediate states of your value. This doesn't mean that the user's wallet has to even show this this token as independent token with its own name or a ticker or a price. It could be represented as just an ordinary token, but maybe with some additional information, like it's not available until tomorrow, or there's some other conditions applied to it. But under the hood, you would use all sorts of tokens to represent different stages of the value and keep the whole system scalable. So in no place in your application, you would have to keep track of the user's accounts in one big list that could break the performance of your smart contract. So to conclude, in Ton, fungible and non-fungible tokens allow you to implement all sorts of assets that you could transfer directly and present to the users, but also use them as low-level building blocks that represent different phases or different stages of the value in the system. And together with contracts, tokens that are built with contracts, they themselves become one of the building blocks in the arsenal of an app developer. And understanding how the tokens work is important to make your system scalable and performant for all the users at any scale.